Hello, hello, hello. Sean from Board World here, and we are going to be doing another redstone video. Standing beside my 3x3 piston door. If you want to learn how to build that, stick around to the end of the video. We got a couple interesting builds here. We got a couple designs we think that you might like, so why don't we just go ahead and get right into it here. Alright, we are approaching our very first piston door. Call Mumbo Jumbo. There it is. But enough jokes. So this is the bread and butter of piston doors. If you like piston doors, you will use this design all the time. It's the cheapest design you can make. It's totally dead reliable, never breaks down on you. So to build this thing, you're going to want to put 3 blocks here. And then you're going to want to go up. And you put 3 blocks right there. You're going to put a block here. You're going to put a block right here. Temporary block. Put a block above it. Break that block. You're going to drop dust right here. Not there. We don't need it there. You're going to drop dust in those locations. Put a torch here. And you're going to put a block above that torch. Just like that. You're going to put a piston off the torch. Piston off the block. Done deal. Pressure plates on either side. Put your door material right there. Works every time. You can even put a button above this in your door frame. So that way if you want an outside door, the zombies can't just walk up on the pressure plate and come in your house. The bread and butter. So you learn how to build these. You build like 50 of them and you start to think, can I build these smaller? And this is like the journey of redstone. Can I build this smaller somehow? I really wanted to have a design where I didn't need to build these big bulky door frames on the side. So it got me on a quest and on a journey, and then it led me to this crazy contraption right here. This thing's kind of nuts. It's very, very, very tall, so it doesn't really serve the purpose of a interior piston door in any way. So you'd have to have a weird situation where you could use something like this. But either way, place blocks in these locations that I'm about to place. Yep, you're going to want a little piston right there. Break this block right here. Repeater going into the piston. Put some dust on top of that block. Dust on top of that piston. So we're going to need a temporary block here and then a piston here. Break that one. And then we're going to need a piston right beside it just like that. Now this thing is ingenious though. In its design, it's actually pretty smart. So you're going to come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a redstone, 4 in a redstone block. Yeah. That's going to shoot that piston down just like that. It's 4 and a redstone block. Then you're going to put a torch on top, block on top of this. You're going to take a regular piston and you're going to face it down, not a sticky piston. And that'll reset the system once it kicks off. So then you're going to put a block above here. Block above here, that's for your switches, and then you can just fill in your door frame. Put your button right there, however you want to do it. Put your pressure plates on that. And it does shave it off by 1 block, which makes it thinner, but it is still way too tall. And that's where we're at in the journey. I'm thinking like that's not ever going to work in a practical design. So we need to go back to the drawing board, figure something else out, which led me to this guy. This is the next design that we have in mind here. This guy right here, it solves both problems. We made this guy thinner and he is shorter. A little more expensive, but gets the job done nonetheless. So to build this guy, you're going to put blocks in these locations here. Temporary, 1 above right there. Break that block. You're going to want a torch right yonder. Put dust on all of this stuff. You're going to want to put a block above here. You're going to want to put a block above here. You're going to want to put a piston on top of this torch. There, just like that. Piston on top of that piston. Then you're going to want another sticky piston facing up off of that with a redstone block on top of it. And a redstone dust on top of that piston. And that, folks, is a done deal. Put your materials on there. Put your button, your pressure plate, you know, however you want to activate it, right in there. So at this point in the journey, we're feeling like, what's going on there? Oh, we forgot to put the torch. Make sure you put a torch right here. Very important. I forgot that torch. But at this point in the journey, we're thinking, okay, that's about as small as we can go. So the next logical step in the journey is to build them bigger. But we'll get back to this guy in a minute. Right now, I want to talk to you about the twins. These are 2x2 and 2x3 piston doors. And these are relatively easy to build. As you can see, it goes off our very first design here. The bread and butter of piston doors we're going to use for the doubles. So we're going to put blocks in these locations here. Just like so. We can break these temporary blocks on the bottom. We come to this other side. We need some blocks here. Break these temporary blocks on the bottom. You're going to put torches in these locations. Am I right? Yeah, that's definitely right. Piston here. See? Yeah. And piston here. That'll leave us a 2-block doorway right there with enough space to put a floor above it. Put blocks on top of these. And you're going to put your sticky pistons off of them blocks. Now you have 2x2 piston door. All we got to do is wire up the bottom. So let's paint this whole thing with dust. And then we're just simply going to put in our pressure plate or our buttons in the same fashion that we have been doing. The switches are pretty standard. You can go either way you want. Now you have a 2x2 piston door. Easy. Now to make this a 3x3 or a 3x2 piston door, you're just going to put pistons on top and then redstone dust on these blocks. And now you have your 3x2. Done and easy. So that's the last of the simple builds along the journey here. It gets pretty complicated from this point. So naturally around this time, I was just putting piston doors in all of my survival builds, and all my friends had already seen them. You can't go 5 steps without running into a piston door, to the point where it's almost become commonplace and it loses its luster, if you will. So at this point in the journey, I started thinking, why don't I design a door that nobody knows about and nobody can see, and I'm the only one that knows where this door is? Maybe like it could be like a vault, so you could stash a bunch of diamond blocks, gold blocks, and iron blocks back there, and your friends would they'd never know. Maybe you want a secret entrance to your diamond mine, or maybe a bee farm you're trying to hide under the dirt, sugarcane farm, something like that. You don't want people to poach your stuff. Little hidey door. So to get started here, you're going to build your pulse extender, which is this T shape, and you break that middle block. Get you a comparator. Point it that way. There you go. Put dust all over this. That's right. Now you're going to build this little corner out here with a block up here, and then block out here. Break that block. We're going to put a repeater right here with some dust connecting that up. And on top of this block, we need a torch. I think I misplaced this block. Yeah. So put your block back right here, your temporary, my bad. And then bring a block out here, and then a block up, block out, block up. And then we're going to break these little temporary blocks that we don't need. Let's put a repeater here, a repeater here, and let's check the delays. I don't remember. So you want this repeater on 2 ticks, this one on 4 ticks. We're going to get a redstone torch. We're going to put it on top of this block. We need a temporary block right here, block on top of that, break that block, redstone dust here, and a torch on top of that block. Next, we're going to put in a block above this torch and redstone dust on that block. We're going to put our pistons here, 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 and here. No. Wait a second. No, don't do that. Everything I did, don't do that at all. Put them there and then put them on top. Because what we need to do is we need to run power to all four. So we put a block here and a redstone dust on top of that block. Now we have power to all four. So you're going to put a piston here and a piston here. Then you're going to put a block right there just like that. You're going to put a block above this torch, build a little tower, put another block above that torch. Then you'll bring a torch coming off from the side. That'll activate that piston, or you can put it to the top, put that block, and put dust right there like I did earlier in the video. So there you have most of the system done and done. We got to put in a switch, but that thing will definitely hide in the wall. So you want to switch, put the piston down, a redstone block here. I don't think that's right. Where do we put that piston? Yeah, put it right one below. That way we can activate it with a pressure plate. What you're going to do is you're going to put a button right on top of that piston. It'll kick it down, open the system. System will close. Simple little switch. You build your frame any way you want. By now we've generously increased our wealth of knowledge when it comes to redstone components and how they interact with each other. We're doing pretty good on that front. So just naturally, like any other inventor, we want to make it bigger. We want to do more. So I already have this little hidey door. So my next thought was to why not make this hidey door and make it bigger instead of just the door. Maybe like the whole section of wall would just come down. And that's where this design comes into play. This is a 3x2 piston door. The difference is you can hide this one in the ground. It makes use of triple piston extenders. The problem with this one is it has these sticky blocks on the bottom, and it makes it hard to walk across the doorway once it's open. So it's kind of a pain. But I did design it, and you can use it to hide in the wall. So let's go ahead and build this thing. You want to place your 2 blocks here. Put a temporary block above it. Put 2 blocks out. Put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks over till you're 2 past. Now, yeah, we want to break those blocks above those blocks right there. You're going to take your repeaters. You're going to point them inward on 3 ticks delay, both sides. Easy money. Then you're going to do the same thing on the outside on the top. Put your repeaters, 3 ticks delay. We need to cross the street over here and get us an observer. So you want observers looking down into these repeaters, all 4 of them, with the face down and the little flasher looking up. Blocks on top of all of them. Just like that. Then we're going to put some redstone dust on top of these guys, just like so. And we need a redstone lamp. So let's grab that lamp. We're going to put the lamp in these locations. Then we're going to put an observer facing into that lamp. Both sides. Well, now you got it halfway built already, folks. Let's take our redstone lamps, put them in these locations here. You're going to want to create basically a torch tower with these redstone lamps. Just like so. Break them in the middle. Now you have a little torch tower put in here. So you're going to put torches here, 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 and here. Then you're going to put torches here, 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 and here. Put all them torches in just like that. Now you're going to face observers into that lamp, an observer above it facing into that torch. Same thing on the other side. Now you're going to put 2 blocks coming out of those observers. You're going to get your redstone dust and you're going to put them up to these lamps. Yep, on both of those like that. Get out your repeaters. You need 1 on 4 ticks on this side and 1 on 4 ticks on this side. Break that block right there. What we need is an obsidian or glazed terracotta, something that the sticky block will not move. We're going to put those obsidian blocks right there just like that. And then we're going to put in 3 sticky pistons right on top of one another. Right there. And there she is, folks. What you're going to do is you're going to run the torches right here. That'll supply the power. And then you're going to run a little switch to this area. And that is how you power the system. Open and close the door, aka. However you want to run a switch. For this case, I use the lever. And that lever powers those pistons just like that. We're going to get us a honey block and a slime block. We're going to come over here. We're going to put slime blocks here, and we're going to put slime blocks here. Then what we need is our door frame material. Let's just use this quartz. And no, that's not going to work. We need honey blocks here. I don't know why I did that. And our door frame material. Then we go flippity flip our switch over here. That will pull our door down by 3 blocks. Then we go flippity flip our switch again. That will raise our door up by 3 blocks. And that is how you build an old 2x3 Heidi door. And as part of the journey, it became my understanding that my greatest problem was removing this block from the 3x3 piston door. But I wanted to build a 3x3 piston door, and I kind of got impatient. So this is kind of like the Frankenstein monster I came up with for my 3x3 piston door as like an original design, just to kind of get something on the shelf and get something going. And it works. But once again, I hate it. It's got the sticky block in the middle. You got to use these obsidian blocks. You can't run across this thing. It's just, it's not my cup of tea. I don't like it. I don't like it like that at all. So if for some reason you want to build this monstrosity in your world, let's go. To get started, you're going to put blocks in these locations, and you're going to break that middle block. Face a repeater into this block, 3 tick delay. Face a repeater behind us on that block, 3 tick delay. You're going to want to get your redstone dust. You don't need them honey blocks yet. Drop your redstone dust here. You're going to get observers. Face them down into these guys. And if you notice, this is the same piston extender we used on the last one. Blocks on top of your observers. Put a temporary block right here. Put an observer into it and break that block. We'll get lamps here in a minute. Put 3 pistons, just like so. Then we're going to grab us our lamps. And I did it this way. I ran the lamps this way just to make it one shorter on that side. So let's run our lamps in these locations here. Break that temporary. And break that temporary one. We're going to build a torch tower out of these lamps once again. Just like so. Except on this one, we're going to do it different. We're going to put the torch on the back side right here. And put the obsidian block still above that torch. But on that location on the side there. Next, put our lamp right in that spot so we do not forget. We need to put redstone dust on top of our lamp. Then we're going to grab our repeater, put it on 4 ticks delay on top of the observer. Grab our observers. We're going to go into the lamp here and into the torch right there. Put 2 blocks on those observers and a redstone on top of that, and you got your piston extender pretty much done. What we got to do now is run power to the piston extender. That's what we're going to do with that torch right here. extends the piston, and it retracts the pistons. We're going to leave them extended because that just kind of helps with the build, folks. It just helps with the build to leave them extended. We're going to get our solid blocks, and we're going to put solid blocks 3 away and in front of that piston, just like so. Grab our sticky pistons. We're going to put 3 on top of those blocks, just like so. 1, 2, 3. Now we can break all these blocks. We don't need none of these blocks. What we do need is a block on this middle piston on both sides, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to put 3 sticky pistons in a little tower right there on the other side. We're going to put 1 here, we're going to put 1 here, and 1 underneath. Don't go nowhere yet. We need to put our temporary block here and put a block underneath. That's going to hold our torch, and we need to do that on both sides. Then we need to put a torch on this bottom block and redstone dust on the top block, and do that on both sides. Delicious. Now, all of your pistons are completely lit. We just need to run them into a circuit, which opens them all at the same time. So put a temporary block there, and make this pattern coming out here for your T flip-flop. What you're going to do is you're going to put a block out here, break that temporary block. You're going to need a redstone torch here, and redstone repeater in that way, redstone repeater facing that block, redstone repeater coming out, and both of those last repeaters on 4 ticks, you're going to put redstone dust right here. Then you're going to put a torch on this block. That creates a T flip-flop. Now we need a way to run the power down to the triple piston extender. So you want that piston facing straight down, redstone block. You're going to put a block beside it, and you're just going to build a little staircase down to your torch down here. I know it seems intimidating at first, but redstone is not that hard. Just cover all that with dust, and now we have the switch ran for our right side, and all we have to do now is transfer the power to the left side. So we're going to put a block right there. Let's put a button on our T flip-flop. While we're here, you're going to go ahead and put temporary block right there. You're going to break that block, and you're going to put another block right in that location, redstone dust on top of that guy. Then you want a redstone repeater into that guy. We're going to come out with some more blocks. We're going to go a temporary block here, block out, break that block, come over until you are perpendicular with that block right there. That's exactly what you want to be. Stair step it up by 1, break your middle block, and then just cover all this in redstone dust. Just like that. And this thing is in working order. So let me make sure I got my torch. Yep. Everything looks good. Test it up. Works like a gem. Hit her again. Yep. So right here, you can see where the piston extends. I have obsidian blocks in there. Make sure you add those, because I forgot to do it in the tutorial. You want to grab the slime blocks. You want to put 3 right there. And then your whatever you're going to build the door out of, you just put that on the outside. The machine will do the rest for you, no problem. And then it's about this point of the journey that I realized that I don't like having sticky blocks in the floor of my builds. I like having the 3x3 door, but I wish there was a way that I could, once again, make this design smaller. Which brings us on to the next one. And we finally figured out how to eliminate that sticky block in the floor. It was, not that bad. This is a pretty cool design. Little double piston extenders there, pulling the slime blocks out. But the problem with it is it's just too big and bulky. Once again, we have running the same problem with this middle block. It's taunting us. But either way, to build this thing, start out with this pattern right here. It's a 2x3. You're going to go to the north side. You're going to put a block here, temporary block right there. and 2 blocks right in those locations here. You're going to come to this south side. You're going to place a block here, a temporary block right there, and a block above it, and another block out. So you go to this side, you're going to place a block here, temporary block, block above that, break that block. Now we need our comparators, and we need our target blocks. Not in that order. So put a target block right there. Then you're going to put your comparators in this swish swash right here, just like so. Then we need redstone dust. We're going to put redstone dust all over this little circuit down here. Make sure everything got the dust. Don't be stingy. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to put some torches in. Put them on the outside of these 2 blocks. Then we're going to get blocks. We got to get our blocks. I'm going to trade dust for blocks. Put a block above this torch and this torch. We're going to mirror this on both sides. Put a torch on the inside of both of those blocks now. Now put obsidian on top of these torches. Or glazed terracotta, whatever doesn't move. Put torches on the outside of the obsidian, and then you're going to put another row of obsidian or glazed terracotta on top of those torches. Now you're going to put blocks, 3 coming out from that top obsidian block on both sides. Repeat it on both sides. You're going to get your observers. You're going to put 1 down, 2 down right in that location, then 1 in like that. Same thing here, put 2 down, then 1 facing into that other observer. Obsidian on the back end of both of those bad boys. Now you're going to put 2 sticky pistons in these locations on each side. Get your repeater out. You're going to want a repeater right here on 3 ticks delay. Same thing with this side, repeater on 3 ticks. And then we need some more dust. Let's get this dust. And you need to just simply put dust in all of these locations here on both sides. And your double piston extenders are ready to go. That is it. You need to get your sticky block, slime block, honey block, and put them in this configuration. Slime blocks like that, and then honey blocks take up the rest. Just like that. And then we want to put a switch here, so I need a block on top of that redstone, and we're going to put a button here. Now we got a switch. Those double piston extenders pull it open. Just enough time for you to get through there. That's what the pulse extender's for. Then you put your whatever you want the wall to be out of, the door to be out of. Just like that. But it's still too big and bulky, which brings us on to the next design. The hot rod, the Cadillac, the Escalade of the 3x3 piston doors. Now this thing took me probably like a month to figure it all the way out. Playing off and on, racking it out in my brain. But it took me about a month, and this thing is rough. But I have made it very simple for you guys today. So to start, you're going to go up 3 blocks. And then you're going to build a little pattern just like that. You're going to break these 2 blocks right here. We're going to go over here and we're going to get a dropper. And we are going to get a comparator. We need that. Bring them both back over here. We're going to put a repeater right here on 4 ticks delay. Repeater right here on 3 ticks delay. You're going to get out your dropper. You're going to put it against this block. You're going to take an observer. You're going to put it against that dropper. Just like that. What we need next is redstone dust. Good old-fashioned dust. We're going to put dust in those locations right there. We're going to temporary block. Block above that. Torch above that block. We're going to bring 3 blocks out this way. We're going to put a block above that 3rd block. Break the bottom block. And then we're going to put a torch here as well. We're going to put a block above this torch. We're going to put a block out from that torch. And then we're going to put a repeater right there. And we can just let that hang. That's for our triple piston at the end. We're going to put redstone dust here. We're going to put a repeater running right into this block. Now next up, what we're going to do is we're going to put sticky pistons above this repeater. You want a piston on top of the head of that piston. You want to put redstone dust on that first piston, block above it there, and then you want to take this observer and you want to face it down on that piston right there. That creates a falling edge for your top piston. What we're going to do next is solid block coming out of this observer, and we're going to put 2 sticky pistons just like that. That should activate. If we have built it correctly, that is your double piston extender. We're going to put a block right here in this location, another block out, till you get this T formation. You're going to put a redstone repeater facing into that on 4-tick delay. Nice and easy. Next, we need our sticky pistons. We're going to face it down right next to that repeater. We're going to put a torch right here, activate it, and then we want the observer with the eyes facing away from us to into 2 blocks with 2 repeaters on top, both on 4 ticks delay. You're going to put a block right here, and then you're going to go a block away, and you're going to build this pattern. This is your pulse extender. We're going to put a comparator in here, just like that, and then we're going to put redstone dust right on top of all that stuff right there. You see how that activated? Make sure you put a block above it, just like that. You need that block in there or it'll mess the whole system up. Come out 3 blocks here, 1 block over, and put redstone dust on top of all this stuff right here. Now we need our observer facing down on that repeater. We're going to put a block above it and then a block above that block. Let's get our glass blocks, and we're going to build a little glass tower, 1 above the redstone and 1 behind it, just like that. And then we're just going to drop dust on these bad boys. Easy enough. And now that is the base of the system, and that solves the problem of removing the middle block. So when it opens, the double piston fires. When it closes, the double piston fires on the bottom, pushing the block back up, and then opens up that top piston again. So let's put a block right here, and let's put in our triple pistons. So we're going to put a piston right above that block. 3 pistons right above that block. Break that block. Make sure you break that block or your build will not work. What we're going to do next is we're going to put a temporary block below the piston, and then we're going to put a block going into that repeater. Torch on top of the block on top of the torch, redstone dust on top of the block, and then you got your pistons activated. Here we're going to do it a little different. We need to build a kind of a diagonal tower, so build it just like that. Then you want a block on top, redstone dust on top of that block. You want your sticky piston coming out to the side of the torch. That's going to be where your bottom piston goes in. No, not to the front. To the side, just like that. And then 2 pistons on top, making 3. Those are all extended. Come to the back, put a torch on top of your piston, and then a block on top of the torch. Just like that. Then we're going to put a torch on the block. Then we're going to go down here and put a temporary block coming off of that torch, and then another block right beside it. We're going to break this block. We're going to go up by 1 block. And then we're going to take our sticky piston and we're going to put it right on the side of that block we just went up. Put it right just like that. Now break this block and replace it with some redstone dust, and you got you a 3x3 piston door. You just need to fill in the frame blocks, and you still need to add a switch. Either a lever, T flip-flop. You definitely still need to add a switch to this thing. But there you are. It's in there. 3x3 piston door, 3 wide frame. Put it in any build. Fantastic. We're super impressed with this one. And it's funny with this one, because I don't know if you noticed this little system right here in the middle, but this is the biggest piston door we've ever built, the most complicated one we've ever designed. But in its design, I figured something out about the middle block, basically. So in building the biggest piston door that I ever built, I found out how to build the smallest piston door I ever built. And I'd say that's pretty small, isn't it? It's a 2x1 piston door. That's actually 2x1. You could put any frame you want on this. You could put this in anywhere in your house, except for the second floor. But it is the smallest redstone door I've ever designed out of the biggest redstone door I've ever designed. And it's funny how the journey works that way, that sometimes you come full circle all the way back to the beginning. Thank you guys for coming on this journey with me. But as all journeys do, this one must come to an end. So with that, I leave you with a God bless. Have a great day, and we'll see you.